السلام عليكم. تحياتي طلبة المرحلة الأولى. بالمحاضرة السابقة أخذنا اليونت 38 اللي هي الحالة الأولى والحالة الثانية بالإفيكلوز اللي احنا سميناها البوسيبل والimaginary or unreal. So if we say, shall we go by bus or by train? The answer would be, if we go by bus, it will be cheaper. So there is a possibility now for them to go by bus, all right? But if we say if we went by bus, it would be cheaper, but the train is quicker. Now it is not possible. Why? Because they have already bought the tickets. So it is not that possible. We can now we can't say this is impossible. Why? Because although they bought a ticket, but they can return them and then use the train. Okay? But since they have already bought the tickets, so it would be a little bit difficult. So we can't say it is impossible, but we say it is not possible. يعني بس حتى تنتبهون اكو فرق بين الامبوسيبل وبين النوت بوسيبل. الفرق واضح، الفرق بانه هاي الحالتين، الحالة الاولى والثانية هي اثنيناتهم possible، لكن صعوبة تحقيق الحالة الثانية اكثر. اوكي، فلذلك نسميها not possible، نفس هي impossible. نروح على الامبوسيبل معناها انه خلاص تحركوا وراحوا بالترين، بعد يصير صعب تفادي الموضوع هذا. ويمتى الحالة طبعا بالمناسبة هاي اثنيناتهم هم بالبريزنت، احنا حكينا هذا الحكي. In these two cases, the first one and the second one, we are talking about the present time, not the past. Not the past. That's why we call them possible. So this one is possible and this one is not possible. Let's call it imaginary. Okay, just imaginary. We are imagining the situation. Okay. Now the third case is the impossible. This is the impossible. This is our topic for today, which is unit 39. Why it is impossible? Because it is something which is not real. It is unreal. So for instance, here, look at these two pictures. Now, Sarah doesn't have Paul's telephone number. She doesn't have it. Okay? So she says, if I knew his number, I would phone him. Now, this is imaginary. This is, by the way, also the second case. Why? Because we have the past simple here, and we have would and phone. But this is imaginary. She is imagining. She is imagining. So this means her. Look her. She's imagining the situation. The real situation is that she doesn't know his number. By the way, this is different from this one. So here, if we say, if we went by bus, it would be cheaper, but the train is quicker. This is not imaginary. We cannot say this is an imaginary situation. So even the second case, it has, let's say, two different ways in expressing our expression. Okay, what we want to say. So here, if we went by bus, it would be cheaper, but the train is quicker. Is different from saying, if I knew his number, I would phone him. This is imaginary situation, but the first one is called not possible. Okay. Now look here. When we imagine a situation like this, if plus past, okay, the meaning is in present, not past. The meaning is in present. We are still talking about the second case of Epiclus. So the meaning is present, not past. Now, there are many things I'd like to do if I had more time. Okay, but I don't, of course. I don't. Look here, there are many things. So what does this tell us? It tells us that we are talking about a present action, not the past. We are not talking about past yet. We are talking about present. We are still in the second case of a free clause, even if the situation is imaginary. So we are using the past to express the imaginative concept of the situation. The idea of using past is not to express past time. It is to say that we are talking about something not real, something imaginative. Now, if we say, for instance, if I didn't want to go to the party, I wouldn't go. Okay, but I won't. Okay, so her, remember, by the way, her, we may use if you were, or if we didn't. So we may use the negative, and we may use the pronoun, and we may use the verb. It's the same. The idea here is that we are using the past tense to talk about something imaginary, something which is not real. Okay? Now, here in this unit, unit 31, it is divided into two parts, as you can see here. The first part, we are talking about the if clause, the second case. And the second part, we are talking about wish, the idea of wish. Again, they are related. Using wish and using the if clause are related. Why they are related? Because in both cases, we are talking about something not real, something imaginary. Now, here, for instance, we use the past in the same way after wish. Look here, we say, I wish I knew, but I don't. Again, we are using the past only to tell the listener that the situation is not real. It does not mean that we are talking about the past time. It has nothing to do with the past time. This is a present. In both cases, we are talking about the present. So we say, I wish I knew, but now. I wish you were, but now. Okay? So the idea here is that to express regret. To express the regret. Now, look at the picture here. These two people, they are having an umbrella, but this man doesn't have. What does he say? He says, I wish I had an umbrella. Had here, it has nothing to do with the past. It's not past. It is just an expression in the past to express regret. Okay? It's not about past, although it has the past form, only in form. Past, only in form. But it is used here to express regret because we are using wish. So whenever we are using wish, we use the past tense to express regret. Now we say, I wish I knew Paul's phone number. I wish I knew Paul's phone number. I don't know it and I regret this. Or you say, do you ever wish you could fly? Of course, we can use could after wish as well to express regret. And also you say, you use didn't, use weren't, okay? In all cases, we are using the past in order to express regret after wish. Now, in C here, D and E, there are some exceptions. هاي بعض الاستثناءات، لذلك احنا نقول لكم الجرامر ده عادة شوفوا انتم اذا منتبهين بكل الشابترات هو يخلي A B وبعدين يخلي C D E، هذول الاخر شيء الاخر حلقات عادة تكون exception استثناءات، هي هاي اللي تغلط. لانه احنا متعودين انه we learn the rules in grammar connected with specific situations, but whenever we comes to exceptions, so our memory would face a real difficulty. Okay. Now, هسه تعودنا احنا بعد if نقول were. If I were you. Okay, if I were you. مع العلم هو I طبعا تاخذ الوز ما تاخذ الوير، بس هنا احنا كسرنا القاعدة حتى نريد نبين انه this is not real. اوكي، لكن ناس هذا الاكسبشن، لكن هذا مو لا يعني بانه ما يصير نقول was. ممكن نقول if I was وممكن نقول if I were. ماكو اي فرق. Just different forms of expressing this case of if clause. So you say after if and wish, not only if, wish. You can use were instead of was. Okay, if I were, or you say I wish it were. But this does not mean that it's wrong to say if I was or I wish it was. But usually we use if I were. Again, why we are using were. Why we are using were. يعني ليه هنا اكو شيء بالانجليزي يسموه الكنكرد. الكنكرد اللي هو التوافق بين الفاعل وبين الفعل، اذا كان verb to be او اذا كان اي verb ثاني. اوكي، التوافق هو شنو؟ انه ويا الاي لازم نستخدم was، ويا اليو they لازم نستخدم were. تمام، معروفه هاي. فهنا انكسر التوافق، انكسر الكنكرد. The concord between the subject and the verb is broken. Why it's broken? Again, to express that this situation is not real. يعني كسر القاعدة، كسر القاعدة وكسر الزمن، وكسر الزمن يعني استخدام الماضي وكسر القاعدة اللي هي يجب أن نستخدم was بمكان الآي. الغرض من عنده كله، الغرض من عنده تعبير عن معنى محدد، معنى ثابت، specific meaning. اللي هو شنو المينينج؟ اللي هو بأنه the action is not real. Okay, it is in the present but the action is not real. هذا كله يتعلق بإيش؟ يتعلق بالحالة الثانية للإف كلوز. الحالة الثانية للإف كلوز اللي هي if past tense وبعدين يجي وراء would plus the base form. شوفوا هسه هنا بالدي we don't use would in the past. طبعا عفوا انتبهوا لي على هاي الملاحظة، هاي ملاحظة جدا طبعا انتم تعرفوها. هو هذا الستركتشر واضح، الاف وبعدين الباست يعني هي هاي الجملة مال الاف كلوز هم يسموها main clause و subordinating clause. يعني شوفوا هسه هذا if I knew his number هذا يسموه subordinating clause. هاي الفكرة ما عندنا بالعربي تماما، يعني ما عندنا. وبعدين يخلون كوما وبعدين يخلون المين كلوز، هذا يسموه المين كلوز. This is the main clause. هذا I would phone him هذا المين كلوز، وهذا اللي بيه الاف، اللي بيه الاف هذا السبوردينيتنج كلوز. اوكي، هنا بهاي النقطة اللي هي دي جاي يقول لك بأنه never use would in the if clause. هاي القاعدة. This is the rule. الwould تستخدم مع بالمين كلوز اللي هي I would phone him. ها هي. Never say if I would know him. Don't say that. Don't use would. This is the rule. Don't use would in the main clause. Not only would, any modal verb. You are not allowed to use any modal verb in the main clause. You use only the modal verb is used only in the in subordinate clause. Use only would or any modal verb in the main clause. This is the rule. Okay. طبعا هاي نوع من انواع الجمل يسموها الكومبلكس sentence، يسموها اللي هي السنتنس with one main clause and one subordinating clause. Okay. Now, if we go back here, we use we're talking here now. If I were rich, I would travel a lot. Okay. If I were rich, I would travel a lot. شوف هسه هذه الجملة، هاي الإف كلوز وهاي المين كلوز. اوكي، وين استخدمنا الود؟ استخدمنا الود بالمين كلوز. Who would you ask if you needed help? All right. I wish I had something to read. Okay. So the قاعدة here, we don't normally use would in the if part of the sentence or after wish. Also here, we can't say I wish I had, I wish I would. I wish I would have something to read. Don't say that. You have to say I wish I had something to read. Okay. Now could sometimes mean would be able. Also, this is another let's say exception. Instead of would, we use could. Instead of would, we use could, which means would be able to. Okay, and sometimes was or were be able to. So you say she could get a better job. She would be able to get. All right. This is another exception. Anyway, this is the unit 39, generally speaking, talks about the second case of if clause, but the imaginary case. Here we are talking about the second case, but the unreal, which is not possible. But here we are talking about the imaginary case. Look, her, she's imagining the situation, the imaginary case. So the second case of if clause and the use of wish, generally speaking, means what? It means we are talking about the present, but using the past as a form in order to say that the action is imaginary. All right, with unit 40, which is, let's say, the more complicated case of if clause, the third case. It is complicated particularly for us as Arab learners of English as a foreign or a second language. Complicated because here we are not talking about the present anymore. And remember, in the first case and in the second case, as I said, we are talking about the present. But here we don't talk about the present. We are talking about past. Remember, again, we are talking about if and wish. Two different structures, two different ideas. The if and wish. Now, the first look tells us here we are not talking about past simple. We are using past perfect. Now, as I told you when we talked about past perfect means the past of the past. Again, we are using the same technique here in talking about the if clause, the technique of using past in order to say that the action here is not real. But here, the third case of if clause is called the impossible case. So the technique here, we are using the past again. But since it is already past tense, we are using the past. يعني هنا شوفوا بعض بس انتبهوا هنا، فالملاحظة جدا مهمة. ليش استخدمنا الباست بيرفكت اللي هو سميته أنا الباست اوف ذا باست؟ لأنه عندنا two pasts. One past اللي هو الباست simple is used in order to tell that it is a past time. واحد من الباست at time. الباست الثاني اللي هو الباست بيرفكت اللي هو الباست of the past يستخدم كform to tell us that the action is not real but impossible. Similar to her. Similar to the second case. Of the clause. Alright? So we are using the past of the past in order to say that the action is imaginary and past. And since imaginary and past, so it is impossible. Look, let us think about this action. Last month, Gray was in hospital. Look, was in hospital for a few days. Rachel didn't know this, so she didn't go to visit him. They met a few days ago. Rachel said, "If I'd known you were in hospital, I would have gone to see you." Now, is there a time for her left in order to visit the hospital or to be in the hospital? Of course not. This is impossible. It's past now. Sorry, it's past. So this case is called the impossible case. We are using the past perfect and would plus have plus past participle. Would plus have plus participle, past participle. Okay, to refer to the impossibility of the action. The action, it is impossible to happen. Why? Because it is in the past and there is no way to do it. Now, we use if plus had to talk about the past. If I'd done, if I'd been done. So I didn't you when you passed in the street. If I'd seen you, of course I would have said hello. If I'd her, I'd remember her. Please try not to be confused. I'd her means I had, not I would. Okay? If I'd seen you, I had seen. This is the past perfect. Had plus past participle. Now compare her. This is important. Compare. If say I'm not hungry. If I was hungry, I would eat something. Now, I am her. I wasn't. So it is what? It's past. We say if I had been hungry, I would have been eaten. Okay, this is very important. So this tells us the difference between the first case of if clause and the third case. Sorry, it tells us the difference between the second case and the third case. All right, the second case, this is if I was hungry, I would eat something, but this is impossible. So this is not possible, but not impossible. Okay. All right. In B, C, and D, we talked about a point that we have already discussed in the previous chapter. All right, that is, we don't use would in the if part of the sentence. We use would in the other part. احنا حكينا هذا بالشابتر اللي سبق. So we say if I had seen you, I would have said hello. But you don't say I would if I would have seen you. So we don't use would in this part. Would only in the main clause. هذا المين clause. We don't use would in the subordinate clause. In the subordinate clause, we use only if plus had plus past participle. Note that it could be would and had. هسه حكيتها لكم قبل شوية. شوفوا, if I'd seen you, I'd have said hello. Now this D means would, but this D means had. Okay, so remember this is important. Now in C, we use had done the same way after wish. Now, so here we are talking about, as I told you, as we did in the previous chapter, we are talking about using if clause and using wish in the same way. We use wish in the same way. In C, we say had happened, I'm sorry, something also in the past. We say, I wish I'd known that Gary was ill. I would have gone to see him. All right. بس شنو الفرق؟ الفرق بأنه الإف كلوز بنستخدمها. الفرق بين الوش والإف. الإف كلوز لازم بيها مين كلوز وسبردين كلوز. هاي ما تحتاج. هاي فقط بيها one clause. يعني not two clauses. شوف هسه I wish I'd known that Gary was full stop. شوف هنا I would have gone to see him. هاي زايدة, يعني مو بالضرورة ان نقولها, لكن هنا ما يصير نقول if I had seen you and you stop, you put full stop. You have to put comma and you say I would have seen. انتبهتوا هذا فرق كلش مهم باستخدام. ليش؟ لأنه الإف تتطلب two ideas. الوش, there is no need to say two ideas. يعني this is something additional. I would have gone to see him because we have full stop. So say I wish I'd known that Gary was ill. That's it. The sentence complete. All right. But they share wish and if, they share the idea of using what? Using the past perfect. If we are talking about past events. إذا كان الحدث ماضي لازم نستخدم ال past perfect. Now, I feel sick. I wish I hadn't eaten so much cake. Okay, do you wish you'd studied science instead of languages? All right. Do not use would have after wish. أيضا ما يصير نستخدم would have plus wish. Now, the last point is compare between would do and would have done. Would do and would have done. Now, we say, if I'd gone to the party last night, I would be tired now. If I'd gone to the party last night, I would have not. شوفوا هنا أنا بقى. Again, this is exceptions. Again, وأنا قلت لكم قبل شوية أي exceptions. The rule يسبب إشكال بالنسبة لأي متعلم اللغة الإنجليزية. يعني احنا حافظيها كأنما هي قوالب جاهزة ونجي نخليها عندنا أفعال ونجي نخليها ونرتب هاي القاعدة حافظين في كلوز بهالشكل هذا. هي مو بهالطريقة هاي. يعني خاصة everyday speech. باللغة المتعارف عليها هواية يسوون exceptions. يعني استثناءات هواية استثناءات. شوف هسه if I'd gone to the party last night. If I'd gone to the party last night. هسه أول ما نشوف if I had gone معناها احنا نتكلم على third case of if clause. إذا third case of if clause احنا حافظيها درخ would have plus past participle. طيب هنا ليش بستخدم would be؟ ليش would be؟ ليش؟ لأنه exceptions. يعني ممكن أنه نستخدم بالجزء اللي يخص الاف كلوز نستخدم الباست بيرفكت. شوفوا هذا if I'd gone للتعبير عن البريزنت. ليش؟ لأنه هو دا يقارن حالته بالماضي مع وضعه الآن بالحاضر. exceptions. لكن هاي الحالة العادية هي هاي الطبيعية. If I'd gone to the party last night I would have met lots of people. Okay. وأيضا if the weather hadn't been so bad أيضا ممكن نستخدم مع الحالة الثالثة مع if clause. Okay. نستخدم would have gone, could have gone, might have gone. لكن المعنى هنا يختلف. شوفوا إذا مو فقط الwould تستخدم would plus have plus past participle. ممكن could أيضا ممكن might. Okay. Not only would but we may also use could and might with the third case of if clause, but with different meaning. So with the third case of if clause, we may use would be similar to the second case when we are talking about the present, and we may also use could, and we may also use might. بس انتبهوا لهاي لأنه هاي دي كلش تغلط وتسبب لنا إشكالات كثيرة في تعلم الحالة الثالثة في كلاس. شكرا جزيلا وإن شاء الله نحل التمارين الموضوع يبين أكثر.